Well, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hey, hey, everybody. How y'all doing out there?
Is this thing on?
Bill's famous thing. Is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
Y'all, I hope y'all is ready because we got a whole treat today. I'm excited. We got Miss Jessica. We ain't gonna keep her waiting for too long, but you excited?
I am excited.
This has been long overdue. Everybody's been asking us about these vending machines and how to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
Miss Stewart is here to give it to us, y'all. So I hope you guys came prepared with your questions, your pen pads, and everything to take notes because
I'm ready to
yes,
vend.
yes.
Get it? Vend.
All right, let's add Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Well, hi Mimi.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
Good. I'm good on a Sunday. It's hot out, but I'm good.
Oh my gosh, it
Oh,
is so hot.
don't remind us. Um, Thank you for joining us again. For everybody that's joining us for the first time, this is Bill and Mimi with the Work Hour, where uh, I don't know how to say it now. Our focus simply is just helping entrepreneur. We want to deal with the mindset. We believe
Mhm.
it takes a certain kind of mindset to be an entrepreneur. And so, starting, building, and maintaining. What does that look like? And so, we're here with somebody that is doing something awesome, and we
Yeah.
want to pick her brain to see how she's doing and what it takes. What is it going to take for somebody else to start it? So enough talking
All
and
right. We ready. So Jesse, I know you personally, honey, but let's let everyone else out there give them a little bit of peekaboo of who you are. Let us know.
So, my name is Jessica, like my Shane will have already said. I have a background in the medical field. I've been in the medical field since I was about 15 years old. And then I just recently, a few years ago, just started to really feel my entrepreneur vibes when I moved to Phoenix. So I usually am in the medical field. I still am. I still dibble and dabble in the medical field, which I love. But I do love my own actual businesses that I've created, my vending machine business. And then I've done my own care home businesses, and I'm looking into some other business ventures as well. So that's just pretty much what I've been doing lately.
Sorry. That's awesome.
well, I don't think people know what that means when you say, you want to do your own thing. I think we get so used to and accustomed to working for corporate America that uh, thinking about doing anything else is like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to do
Right.
that?
See, for me, I started to really feel that way when I was recently a lead medical assistant at my last job. I started feeling like, ooh, I don't like this feeling, and it's nothing really towards anybody that likes, to go to the Monday through Friday 8 to 5, do your thing. But for me, I just got tired of that of, not seeing my kids, not being able to put my input. And I always felt like I had a really broad input. And I always felt like I had a fire in me that I couldn't really let loose in the corporate world. I felt like my supervisors would kind of hush me. And they would kind of just bring me to the light when it was good for them, and then kind of just throw me back when they no longer needed me. And I just really didn't like that feeling. And that's when I got tired of my own self, I guess. I started being like, you know what? I'm tired of you. Like, stop
Okay.
making excuses. You have that mindset. You have that power. I feel like I naturally am a leader. And I start feeling like I'm tired of explaining myself with my resume of how awesome I am.
Woo!
And I just started being like, instead of trying to explain to somebody and convince them to open the door for me, I was like, I'm just going to open the door for myself. Like,
Get your own door. Huh.
I
Bust that door wide open.
Yes, and that's how I did it. And I honestly, I this time I believed in myself so much that when I kicked the door open, I wasn't scared when I kicked it open. I was
Okay.
like, let's go. You got it. Don't be scared. If you only got $2, say you only got $2 and work with it. Make $4 off that too. So
Yep.
that's just how my mindset was, and it has not left.
So
Awesome.
again, like we said, it's the mindset. It takes a certain mindset to be an entrepreneur. I think one of the mindset that you have to get to on your own is I'm tired of other people being in control of my life. I'm tired of people telling me when to go to the bathroom, right? When to take
Right.
lunch, how many hours I have to work. Now, granted, all those in itself is not a bad thing because there's some people that love that structure, right?
Hmm.
But I believe that we were created to be managers. We're created to manage our own lives, and so to be effective, you have to really come to terms with that and say, you know what? I don't think I was put here to be under somebody else's shadow as it relates to me making them richer, me doing all of these things for them, and I'm just still a number, and they can get rid of me at any time.
Right.
So the mindset has to be one that said, I'm fed up. I
Yeah.
have enough. I'm gonna bust my. I'm gonna. Matter of fact, I don't even need y'all to open the door for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody said in the comments, you got to create your own door.
Yeah.
Create
Especially,
your own door.
I don't know other fields, but I know in the medical field, it is very, very strenuous on your mental health. And you just don't get the. I mean, it's like you're there, and it's like your personal life, your private life, they don't necessarily care about. And I've seen like a lot of people that are really, really talented not get that leadership and support that they truly deserve, um,
Yeah.
because someone that was in charge of hiring them felt like they could possibly take their position. And I felt like I was in that position so many times where I felt like, well, I got degrees. I've been to college. Why am I not getting these job opportunities? And it's because I'm intimidating. My
Right.
mindset and my leadership and my entrepreneurship is spilling out of me, and I'm intimidating to the person that's interviewing me, and I'm not getting the opportunity that I well deserve. So I had to just kind of make my own.
Yeah.
Now talk about
That's
that.
crazy. I was just getting ready to say, I just want to say something before you go on, Bill, that it is intimidating to whoever's interviewing you because I remember before we started our business, Bill was working for this solar panel company, and they saw how hard working Bill was, but the boss told him, you know what, do me a favor, never get your own business, like never get your own.
And he meant it too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He
If
did.
you allow them, they will silence you because nobody wants to lose a good employee, right?
Hmm.
And granted, you come in and doing clocking in when you're supposed to do all these fun stuff, making sure you're on task at all times. That's good. But once people start seeing that potential in you, like you said, it makes you frustrated within yourself because
Yeah.
this is not me. I need to
Yeah.
be challenged. I need to be doing something more, but how do I do that? And so entrepreneurship is not for everybody. We get it. But I believe that people out here really wants to make that impact, right? Because now you're able to show people. So we're going to transition and really start getting into this or asking you these questions because now it's starting to make sense why entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but
Yeah.
those that really want it, people like you and myself and everybody else, uh, this is something now that we have to start bringing to the world and letting people know that there are opportunities out here. Don't just accept what somebody tells you this is your fate, right?
Hmm.
This is who you are. You can't allow people to do that to you. When you do that, basically you'll hate your job, you will hate waking up in the morning, going to a place where you feel stuck.
Yeah.
So now, as an entrepreneur, you talked about basically just kind of creating your own space. Now we know you're in the vending machine world. What are some of the challenges? Well, what were some of the challenges? First of all, I'm sorry, I'm moving too fast. What got you started in the vending machine industry? We know you was doing other things prior to this, but what was some of
Yeah.
the things that got you started on this?
Well, it started because, it just me being in the medical field, me being a good worker, I guess, in the medical field, I felt like I was a good worker because I always felt like conveniency was the thing that people want. Now, I would look at other people's businesses, and I would say that business isn't thriving because they're not convenient. It's not convenient to what I need. That you have to meet the customer's needs. So I used to a few years back. I used to work at Folsom Prison, back in California when before I moved out here. And I used to do suicide watches, with inmates that were on like a suicide watch for 24 hours. And a few suicide watches that I used to do would I would sit directly across from a break room where there was vending machines, and there was only one. But mind you, this is like a huge prison. This
Yes,
is huge with, I mean, so many correctional officers. They're on mandatory overtime. They're,
24/7.
yes, 24/7. So I'm sitting there every day and I'm watching this, and I'm like, there's nothing in there I would eat. There's nothing in there I would want. And then I'm thinking about the conveniency of the vending machine, and I'm noticing like people going in there and they're like, man, I'm just so hungry, because getting out of a prison, if anybody knows, when you're working in a prison, when you get out of it, it takes about 30 minutes to get out. So
Yeah.
and then 30 minutes to get in, you got to get shook down, patted up, you got to get all these things, so it's not worth it. So I was thinking, like, if I had a vending machine here, I'd have this and that, and it would be convenient, and people would never want to go anywhere. And then in a vending machine, you're going to double your prices so that you have a good revenue coming out of your machine. And so so it's the conveniency. People are going to buy in that machine because conveniently they don't want to leave that jail. They don't want to leave their work site. They don't want to go through that 30 minutes of leaving and coming back in. So
Hmm.
I was just like, I'm gonna do this vending machine thing. Like, I'm gonna learn how to put a contract together and have vending machines in prisons and county jails and stuff like that. So that's where the first thought was. And I loved it because nobody thought about vending machines. And it was almost, I never let it dim me. Like, I never let it, take me off my course, because people, when I would talk about vending machines like it was like some Jordans or Nike shoes, people would be like, what? What do
Yeah.
you want a vending machine for? So that's how I originally, started thinking about vending machines.
So it started in prison. I'm just joking.
That's a good one.
And
That's a
they
good
let
one.
a real one out. I heard that, sis.
Right.
But
Yes.
it's crazy because now it's kind of like a metaphor where your mind literally have to be in prison for
Yes.
you to see the opportunities.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
most people that come out of that place, whether they're they was there because they were doing some time now, but you was there kind of voluntarily working. But one of the things too is important is to understand that this is real life, right? Opportunities are all around us, and that's what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur, in essence, is a problem solver, right?
Yeah.
Everybody that have started a business pinpointed a problem, and the solution is what became a business,
Yeah.
right? So essentially, your job as an entrepreneur is to see the problem and solve it. And once you can solve it, I believe that money is a byproduct of you solving that problem. And so it's so important that you're breaking it down to us like that, that you were saying all of this potential around you, like, man, I don't, and most of the time, because we're human, everything is so relatable that you can say, if I'm going through this and it's a pain, how many other nurses or doc or whoever else is in here that's working, they're going through the same thing. So
Yeah.
having a vending machine in there, man, whoever had it in there was making a killing.
Yeah. Yeah. Feeling off, off of just regular workers, just regular, just working. And I always related vending machine to kind of like those self checkouts at Walmart. You know,
Yeah.
same thing. You getting your money first. You know,
Exactly.
better way. So and the vending machine business is not saturated at all, and that's something I tell people all the time. It is not saturated. People do not even remotely know all the things that they can do with a vending machine business.
I love that, and I love how you say it's not saturated because so many people will look at this and be like, "Oh, well, they're doing vending machines. I can't do it. It
Yeah,
ain't no room for me." If you have that mindset, then you're not gonna get anywhere. Like it's enough room for everybody. So it's a lot of legal money out there,
yeah,
a whole lot of money for us to go and get. So yes, man, that's really really good, and I like how you say you got it from prison or whatever. I think that those ideas of entrepreneurship they always come from a certain place when you fed up.
mhm,
And I just remember back in the day when we used to work together as CNAs, and when we worked in them complexes, I remember on break time, that's when I would actually get the get the
yeah,
printing paper out the printer, be
yeah.
writing down my, Bible tell you to write down the plan and make it plain. I didn't know that's what I was doing back then, but I wrote down many plans and put them right there in my visor in my car. Never looked at them until later on when I really got fed up. When I'm like, no, I'm not returning back.
Yeah,
Not going back.
it those hardest times, when I never regret where where I come from. I just always look at it like, ooh, I ain't going back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
I think all I think, certain people are made to be entrepreneurs. I think that entrepreneurs are automatically leaders. And I noticed that about myself. Even if I'm playing a game of patty cake or hide and go seek with my kids, I am a natural leader. I
Yeah.
step up, and I always told myself, like, whenever you in that line, you always gonna be in the front of that line. It's okay for whoever cool with being in the back of the line. That's your thing. Do you? But me, I'm always a problem solver, and I'm always looking for new ways to do new things, and make new money.
Yeah, and that's an entrepreneur mindset. And being innovative, being able to, keep going. When you get one thing, you don't stop there. It's like, what's the next way that I can, show how to get money. Let's see what this says. I don't know if I missed, but how do you go about getting contracts with the company to place your vending machine? And what do they charge you on average? I'm trying to make sense of how a profit is made. We are going to get there, Jennifer. We coming for you. We coming for you,
They're
girl.
ready,
They
boy. They're
ready.
ready. But we gotta get some of the. We gotta come out the gate slow. We gotta get some of the fundamentals, the
Yep.
basics, because this is the thing people don't get. They're infatuated with the idea of entrepreneurship. This thing is kind of dangerous, right? Because
Hmm.
Absolutely.
it'll mess up your life if you're not ready, right? So we don't want to just jump into telling you ways how to start and making money, etc. We got to give you some of the background and some of the work that needs to be put in first. Like ATL, this is grown folk
Grown folk
business.
business.
This ain't no play.
Yeah.
This.
I'm glad you said that, Will, because a lot of people they look at me and they like, how you do it? What you do? And it's like, I don't mind giving the game. I love to see people win. I have a great mentor and a leader. One of my really good friends, Catherine. I remember she always told me, like, if you were to get, if I worked under her. I was her medical assistant, and she was my manager. And she told me, she said, if you were to get a job and go far in life and be higher than me and have a higher position than me, that doesn't make me feel less than in any way. It makes me proud because I led you. Um,
Mhm.
so it's like how Bill said, it's grown folks' business. It is, because it's a lot of sacrifices that I make. You
That's
know,
right.
times, where, like, I'm dog tired, you know,
Woo!
And
dog
we are
tired. You know what I mean?
fighting,
Yeah,
fighting,
yeah,
fighting for the eyes and
right.
not right now. Like
Eyelash
it's not an
hanging,
easy job.
glasses tilted. I be tired. Some of these locations, I go to work, and I go there at 4:30 in the morning when they first are before they get there, so that I can make sure these machines are working. So it's going, like he said, it's going for business. You know what I mean? It is not being an entrepreneur. It's not. It's an amazing opportunity to work for yourself, but you working for yourself.
You're
You
working for yourself, and if you
know,
don't go out there and get that dollar, then it ain't coming to you.
it's
Period.
not,
Point blank.
no. So
So so you started, the thought came to you in prison, seeing the opportunities,
mhm.
uh, and really saying, man, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. So that was the inception of it. How long from that point to when you got started, and where are you at now?
That was years. That was year. I worked at that prison years ago. And it I had went through life, life had to, teach me a couple lessons, and I went through life, fought myself, and then just maybe a couple, maybe before a little bit, that's when I started being like, you know what? When I have a really good support system with my fiance, and he like, go for it. And I'm like, okay, I got the money. I'm saving the money. Let's go. And I got my first vending machine with $200. And it was just because I was building relationships with people, and people started to know that that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for my vending machine business. I'm looking for vending machines. And then and then I had a friend call me and it's like, I have a vending machine. $200, I'll sell it to you. I'm like, okay, let me come look at it. Good. I still have that vending machine to this day. Um,
Wow.
so I was making really good connections, and I went ahead and just started it. And then this year is when it just really just kind of just took off, because I took a while to educate myself. and I educated myself on the pros and the cons.
Slow
And
down.
That's
Say that
good,
again,
Jesse.
please. You
That's
did what
good.
now? You had to invest in yourself. I had to educate yourself. What was that?
I absolutely believe in educating myself and weighing the pros and cons because a lot of people, I'm not a believer in it. I get an idea and then tomorrow I'm running off with it. I like to sit back, tilt my glasses down, look, I want to see what goes on in the morning, the noon, night,
Yeah.
afternoon, midday. I always look at those things before I just go and invest because I'm not only investing my money, I'm investing my life, my children's college, my children's future. I'm investing all of that into my dreams, and if I don't make the correct move, I can jeopardize my children's future. So I just made sure I looked and I started looking to see who had vending machines, who have vending machine businesses, who were repairmen, where do you get vending machines at? How saturated is it? How competitive is this business? Can I thrive with this business? And then my number one thing is, can I do a vending machine business and still be a mom, still be a mother, um,
Right.
still be myself and still, still do things? Because I have to remember, if, in the beginning, I still had to work because I'm like, okay, you got to weigh your options. I have to feed my business, I have to feed my entrepreneurship. So I had to still work, my Monday through Friday job. Um,
Mhm.
so that was the main thing. I just had to kind of look and see what the pros and cons were. And then I felt like the pros outweighed the cons. I still do deal with the cons sometimes.
Okay.
Not, deter me from wanting to, just continue my business in the vending machine.
So you didn't answer the other question was the timeline. So
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
from
Like
when you
to.
was in prison, I mean,
Oh.
not when you was in prison, you was working, you was there voluntarily.
Yeah.
But when you was there,
Mhm.
from when you first started, we know you said it took off this year. What was that span of time in
You're
between
saying
there?
years ago, and just in the past year and a half, it's starting to manifest
Yeah.
now.
So just from January to now, it's just like gotten out of control. And I'm not really a Facebook or Instagram person really lately, these last few years. And it really got out of control when I started posting like, oh, I'm doing vending machines, and that's when people really started looking at it. But I was being successful all this year with my vending machines. With my vending machine businesses, looking for locations and looking for vending machines. Now it's just taking over my life, and every time I'm on my phone, I'm just looking for vending machines.
Man, that's the way it is with business. I
Yeah.
want to answer a couple of questions some people have in the comments. Hey, you guys. So somebody said, how long is the timeline as far as seeing profit? Like,
So seeing profit depending on the location that you have. So you really don't want to count your profit until you've completely paid back that money that you purchased with your
the
vending.
initial investment, yes.
So that doesn't count as profit. So if I buy a vending machine for $500, so I'm gonna get it. Say I get it placed next week, and then I always round up the amount of snacks in my vending machine. So I'll fill my vending machine completely. I calculate how much money all of those snacks are gonna make me, and then if it's a fast location, they'll sell out that week. But if it's slower, you'll sell out probably half, and the other half will be there. So it's like, say if I bought it for 500 and then I sold out, I go back the next week and check my vending machine. There's
Mhm.
dollars in there. Okay, so I still haven't profited yet. Still no profit. Now I'm putting $200 towards my $500 that I spent on my vending machine. Because you always want to keep money in the bank for vending repairs and
Yeah.
potential vending machines. Because now I get people asking me to do vending machines. I get people now asking me like, "Do you have a vending machine? I want one for my business. Do you have one?" So it's always good to make sure you have money in the bank for potential vending machines. And so I don't start counting my profit until maybe, depending on how much you sell in your vending machine, till that week. So after I get done with that $500 that I've replaced from the vending machine that I bought, now I'm going to see profit. So probably estimate around, depending on the amount of the vending machine you bought, maybe around a month. Those type, like a $500 and lower a month, that you'll start seeing some revenue coming in and some turnaround.
That's nice.
So it might be different in the vending machine world, but as an entrepreneur, you definitely want to see your profit margin. That's a given. But I think the question don't that profit is not going to happen in the first year or so. To really see a profit is when you start having these multiple locations and having multiple machines, because now the work that has to be put in, that profit is going right back into the business.
Yes.
So whoever asks that question, you have to keep that in mind. You're not seeing profit for you to start taking money out and go start balling, right? Because sometimes we take it out of context. That profit needs to go back into the business so the business can sustain itself. I always believe in that. If you don't have a business that can sustain itself, like you said, you have to plan for machines breaking down.
Yeah.
Anything can happen to those machines, right?
Mhm.
So now your mindset should be, yes, profit is going to come, but I'm gonna give myself this much time. Now I need to focus on how to put that money back, make sure I have enough cushion, etc., etc. What would you say to that person as far as profit? When would you really should start looking at profit? I know you're saying that within that month, but realistically, from your perspective, when did you really start to see money coming in to where you feel comfortable with taking some of that money out of the business?
So it really, like you said, it does get up to a year because it's for me. It really depends on your goals. So like for me with my goals, I have multiple locations now. So some of my locations make 300-400 a week. Some make 200 a week. Some make a 485, almost a 500, depending on the size and the location, the size of your vending machine and the location of your vending machine. That's when it's in heavy foot traffic, and
Mhm.
those type of contracts when you got a mouth on you. So it's like how Bill said, I always make sure I'm prepared for vending repair. And in Arizona, trying to find a vending repair man is kind of hard. It's hard. So I always have
There's an entrepreneur job there, guys, in Arizona. Going and become a repairman.
I do. I just go to YouTube College and I just get to fixing my own stuff because one, I don't wait on people. I don't like waiting on people.
Yeah.
It's just same, just how like how Will said, you want to give that about a year to see some actual profit to where you're comfortable taking a few thousand out of that account. For me, I'm not comfortable with it right now because I'm a very stingy entrepreneur. I'll be honest with y'all.
I gotta
I
rich stay rich
say
though.
I'm a very stingy entrepreneur. I do not go out buying $2,000-$3,000 machines because I personally don't feel like my business has gotten to that point where I'm comfortable with making, with doing that. I purchased a $2,000 machine. I mean, it was like 1,800 round with tax, but it was a good decision for the location that I had. But I'm very stingy with my business profits. I do not just go snatching and grabbing them because I believe in customer service and I want to always maintain my customer service with my clients. So if I don't
Customer
have to,
who?
huh?
Customer who?
Service. So it's like so with yeah
Can
with
you explain what that means in this business as far as customer service? Can you? Because
yeah
that was another question I was going to ask you. What? How? Because again, we have a bunch of questions we need you to answer, but at the same time, these are fundamental questions
yeah
to have to be successful in this business. You can't just go get a machine. It
no
might not be successful. You need to know that customer service, the customer is always right service. Can you please explain to people that are interested in this vending
yeah
machine?
because this also coincides with the whole profit situation. Sometimes I'm not a greedy person. So that's the number one thing. So like just the other day, I got an email where one of my clients, she said, our workers, they're used to paying 65 cents for a soda. And so I'm like, ooh, in my head, I'm like, okay, so I'm charging 75 cents. So
Mm.
I always price my things according to what the amount that I'm getting them for. So, when I did the math, and then I'm like, okay, it's 25 cents. You know what I mean? Can you deduct it? That little bit of change, not 25 cents, but like the 15 cents. Can you deduct it? And my number one thing that came to my head was not money, it was the customer service. That
Mm.
was it. Me maintaining my integrity and me maintaining that relationship with my client. And my client is these manufacturer warehouses, huge warehouses. They have multiple warehouses. So my number one thing is, would it kill you to lower the sodas 15 cents if that means you're going to keep this relationship? And if
Right.
they're going to refer you to another warehouse. And if that means, because my customer base is people I don't even know. So it's different for somebody that's working in an actual hospital, and they, are working somewhere. You can see your customers. I don't get to see mine because I'm somewhere else and it's multiple people going to my vending machine. So I try to maintain my relationships with my customer service is always my number one thing, and it's making sure that my clients are happy. So that's what I'm saying. It's not an easy thing when I go to empty my machines, when I go to collect my money. I don't just collect my money. I wipe my machines down so everybody can see me. I'm like, wiping them down with gloves. I'm dusting my machines. And then when I'm done with that, I'll go and I shake hands. I'm usually at my location for about an hour,
Mm.
shaking hands. Hi, how are you guys? How's everything going with the machines? Have you noticed any issues? How are you guys going? Do you guys like the snacks? Is there anything else you want from me? Do you guys want to see me more often? I
Yeah,
do a lot of customer service things. I give out a lot of
I love that.
sometimes I do specials in my vending machines. I give dollars out, like I'll attach a dollar to some of my chip bags. I
Oh,
buy one get one free. Sometimes if I feel like they giving me so much money, they spending so much money with me and they don't even know who I am. I'll just go there, give the human resources $20, and I be like, snacks on me. I'm paying myself.
okay.
I'm paying myself. That money is coming right back in my machine, and for me. So it's like those are the customer service things that I do, and I'm not greedy. I always, always, always. I never move with greed. I never move with greed.
I love
So
that.
those of you that are just joining us, you're tuning into the work hour with Building Mimi. We're dealing with the mindset of an entrepreneur, starting, building, and maintaining. So the mindset is so important. This girl just said something a lot of people probably missed, right? She's in touch with the people she's servicing. She is
Yes,
not
that's the
just she
word.
didn't just buy a machine, threw it in there and waiting for to get paid. She's proactive. She is doing the work. She's putting in the time. She's being innovative in her approach to making sure that she's keeping the because they always say it's easy to keep the customers that you have instead of going to find a new location because like you said, you're in a warehouse, that's your ideal client. If they have multiple warehouses and they know that you're in this one and you're able to work with them, your customer service is on point. Don't you think they'll be like, hey, we got five more other locations. Do you mind putting your vending machine in there? But we're so stuck on the $20 that you go in there and give them and say lunch snack on me.
Right.
We're so stuck on that $20 because we want to bring in all that money and we don't see what you're doing. You're literally setting yourself up to succeed. You're making yourself look good in front of your customer because these people now will say, well, this girl been here for a while and another person coming and trying to take her spot. No, we don't need you. We have a whoever because now it's a war. Because now you telling me now I'm going trying to boot you out of your spot,
Mhm.
and then they'll be like, no, no, we like Jessica. No, she good.
And you know what? You know
They'll
what?
fight for you.
Successful in my vending machine business because when I researched the cons, one of the cons was the customer service
Yeah.
because if a lot of people knows, when Coca-Cola and stuff when they go out to stock their vending machines, that's their 8 to 5. That's not their personal business, so they're not taking their personal time. They're just like, I'm here to stock these machines. I'm out, and
Yeah.
then a lot of people lose their vending locations because there is no customer service. There is no care for what they're putting in their machines. And I don't count it like inside of my profit when I'm calculating my profit for the month and calculating expenses for the snacks and stuff like that. I put it on the side and it's my word of mouth. I kind of count that as a hidden profit.
Mhm.
Even if I did not make an actual dollar from it, just the fact that my name is going around Phoenix and Arizona the way it does, I count that as profit. I'm like, ooh, girl, you made a business contact, you made a business connection. That's a profit. That's a potential profit. So I always document my potential profits, and it's every time I open my mouth.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's answer a couple of the questions before we get too far away from them. What type of places do you have your machines? Mr. Frederick asks. What type of places do you have your machines located?
So I have a plant operation center. I have a manufacturing warehouse, a call center, and a condo and townhouses. And then I'm looking to now to adding a contract for the county jails in Phoenix. So I'm
Oh,
looking at those. Those contracts are a little bit more tricky, so I have to look into those a little bit more. So I'm looking into
the
that,
work.
and that eventually will be a placement of up to maybe 10 or 15 machines because there are so many county jails in Arizona.
Yeah.
So let me again, brother Fred. I'm not. Don't think I'm being. You know. I'm just. I have to challenge. Got to keep challenging Jesse because the question is not. I think I analyze everything so
Mhm.
differently. The question really should be, how do you find your target
Locations.
market? Who are your targets? Because if you don't know who you're servicing, you can't just put that machine. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So how do
Yeah.
you find your target market, and how did you know those were your targets?
So my target markets, I find them, and it's like I'm always driving. So when I'm driving around in my car and I'm supposed to be doing other stuff, like for my own life, I'm actually looking for vending machine locations. What I make my target market is the where locations where I feel like there's a lot of foot traffic
Okay.
Hmm.
open at various times of the day. So I target I love manufacturing warehouses, call centers, 24-hour call centers. Big large warehouses in Arizona, it's warehouse central. We have Scholastic, Conair, Winco, everything. I target those locations, large communities, like large townhomes and condos and stuff like that. I always kind of like to ride by and see like, ooh, do they have any options? Where is a store? How close is a store to them? How close is options to them? How many people are going in there? So I like places that have 12-hour shifts,
Yeah,
mandatory overtime.
smart.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I look at stuff like that, and I look like how tired people look, and I do look at the outlook of people, the type of people, like I look at, I could tell, you could tell by looking at people what type, if they like snacks or if they want broccoli, you could just tell. I mean, it just is. You can tell, So I look at that. I'm like, oh yeah, they like snacks. Let me see if they want.
Okay.
So it's like I target my market. The main thing is the foot traffic. A lot of people don't know that warehouses, jails, and call centers, they're open 24/7.
Yep.
People don't have food, they need lunch, they need snacks, and they want conveniency, and they don't. So yes.
So again, Jesse, that's why I'm saying we need to ask the question right,
Mhm.
because now what you have told me is what works for you might not work for the next person. And one thing people got to understand with vending machines, you can't, it's not just snacks. Anything you can think of will
Any.
fit in the vending machine. So don't copy her model. Try to create your own. Just like she said, I go out there, I'm looking for locations. So if you want healthy, if you're more into the healthy side of everything, then you don't want to go that route, right? So you want to go
Hmm.
find your ideal customer, tailor, ask them what they want. And I know one of the big questions you got to ask before you put that vending machine, what are your people looking for? That's
Mhm.
why customer service is so important, because you want to make sure you are asking your customers what they want, not what you think they should have, what they want. And so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What you just said, that's the hardest part that I notice people have is finding locations. So I'll be very honest with you guys. For me, it's easy to find locations. I find them like that. That's because I don't take no for an answer, and I know what I want and I know what people want. I just naturally have that ability to do that. A lot of people don't. But it just goes back to that saying, closed mouth don't get fed. You cannot be timid. You have to go, and a lot of people just don't even know that they can have a vending machine in their office with
Right.
no cost to them and no cost to your pockets. I currently do not pay anyone commission at any of my locations. I do not pay no monthly fees for any of my vending machines at any of my locations. I don't give them no money, none. So that hopefully all y'all.
This is good.
Yeah, so it's like that's the hardest part. And it's like healthy snacks. I do have healthy snacks in some of my locations. But I ask them that because healthy snacks are more expensive. So I ask them that. What are you guys looking for? How can I help you? What would you like here? I just always naturally consider diabetic people, stuff like that for me being in the medical field. But for a more healthy vending machine, you can aim for schools because Arizona has that law where they do want children to be
Snacks.
have healthier snacks. So
Mhm.
yeah, gyms and other stuff like that. Yeah, more healthier people. That's where you can place those vending machines.
That's
Right. So
awesome.
those are the two different group, and you got to kind of know who you want to cater to. So we're
There
going to
was,
answer another question.
yeah, let me get to, I'm sorry. What are the, okay, you can, what are the weekly hours dedicated on one machine? So typically in a week worth of work, how much time are you spending on it weekly?
So for just one machine, it probably about an hour and 20 minutes. and that's just because it's me. Usually, like if I'm not doing all my customer service spiels, it's like 30 minutes. You depending on what you're walking into, because those machines, they change differently, daily. Especially if you're getting a used or a refurbished machine. So just like typically my plant operation location, I have two vending machines there, a snack and a soda machine. They are a not needy location at all. They don't bother me. But I love to go once a week. I like for them to see me once a week just in case something goes wrong.
That's
Um, because I always consider weather issues or where, electricity may cut off and cut on, rodent issues, anything. I consider a lot of things. So I want to be able to catch any issue quickly. So I'll go in there. It takes me about a couple minutes just to wipe it down with some antibacterial wipes. 2 minutes to dust my dispense wheels, making sure it's not dusty. And then I always double check my expiration dates every time. That takes me about 10 minutes. And then I just rotate my snacks and make sure everything is good. Check my wiring, check the dust behind my machine, get my money, put it in my bag, and close up. And then I go do my spiel, and then that's it. I'm out of there.
that's
It sounds
awesome.
like you're very dedicated to this because it's for you. It's not a game because
Yeah.
you did the pros and the cons. You did the necessary research, and you knew it was grown for business, right?
Yes.
Going
Yes.
back was not an option. So for you, you baby these things because I'm like wipe it down.
Uh huh.
It's so smart though
It's
because like ever since you told us about this, ever since we've been getting into it, I like you said, I ain't doing nothing that I ain't done no studying up
Yeah.
on first.
Hmm.
And so just doing that, like even the question that was asked, like how much time do you spend? It can vary throughout the week because
Yes.
you could have just been there yesterday and electricity went off. Now all your ice creams is all melted. Like you got a whole cleanup you
yeah.
gotta go do over there now. You got food that's expired. Like literally those are the it's in the details.
Hmm.
It's in the details. You find you got some chips molded or something like that, or something you didn't pay attention to, but all that little stuff, that can end up going into your little hour time that you were spending there. So,
Yeah, yeah. I always keep my communication very, very open with all my clients. I always do. So they like last week I went to a location 3 times in that week. Going back tomorrow. And because they're just that's just that location that just needs a lot of assistance. And it's a newer I placed a brand new machine there.
Right.
So yeah, and so it has its pros and cons. So I have to make sure that I'm there, to make sure everybody knows how to use it. I'm
mm,
there, so in those times, that's when it's a little longer. So, I'll sit in the break room. Hi, how are you? I'm the owner here, of the vending machine. I just wanted to make sure you knew how to work the vending machine, stuff like that. So sometimes it's longer than, usual, but, an hour and get out of there.
yeah, but it's
So
such easy work. Like the time is like at this point, it don't even matter. I'm willing to spend an hour and a half
yeah.
there
Yeah.
once a week. Like,
Somebody said it's presentation. So I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie. Before even prior to us getting connected with you, as far as the vending machine, I was doing some research on them. But when you see a vending machine, you really don't even think like somebody that looks like you
yeah,
owns these sites, right? You
Yeah.
think it's a big corporation or it's directly from the manufacturer. So we don't really think twice. So because of that, we think if we do have to do it, we have to pay. I'm going back full
yeah. That
circle
question.
because now the question is, I can't believe that you are not paying commission or fees for this. And is this an industry standard? I think before you answer that question, I was trying to understand it because I think the coalition between not paying no fees and customer service that there might be, and I want you to explain that if there's any kind of relationship
Yeah, because
between
I
the
got
two.
it.
Yeah. So I mean, with me, I wouldn't necessarily say it's an industry standard. I think it just depends on the person. For me, I'm not a weaker entrepreneur. In this business, I go head up with men. There are no women in that I see in the vending machine business around me. So
Mm,
I always have to have my back straight and sit up straight and look into my eyes when I'm doing anything with the vending machine. So for me, I just don't. When I started learning about it, I started finding ways to where you didn't have to offer commission. There are some opportunities that I see down the line that If a commission conversation came up, I wouldn't mind, but that all depends on the foot traffic and the amount of money my machine is going to get. And that means that my machine is going to sell out every week and I'm going to be there every week to refill it. And that's one of those situations where I feel like, okay, I if a commission was to be, I would offer 1%. But I always say this vending machine is here to better your customer service and to help your customers when they're sitting down and waiting for long times. So I always use that spiel with auto replay. When they're sitting here for an hour, don't you want them to
Yeah.
quench their thirst? Wouldn't you, so they're not leaving, going down to Pep Boys? Don't you want them to stay here? So I always make it seem like this is you need my services.
Right.
I
You're the benefit.
and it is a customer service thing. I'm always willing to shake, but at this time I'm not shaking from it. I do not pay no commission.
That's
And if
beautiful. And I think, sis, this is some of these are some of the questions you have to be answering. Do you have what it takes to not accept a no or repackage it and make it on them? Because what I'm hearing you saying is y'all need me more than I need you. So
Mhm,
you're kind of reverse engineering the conversation with them to have them understand that, hey, not only am I being here as an asset to you, but you need me to be here because I'm an asset to you, right? And then you're letting
Hmm.
them know why, and they're in their mind like, oh, you're right, because we don't want them going down the street,
mhm.
right? So you gotta have that's thick skin to let them know like I'm serious about this. And a
Hmm.
lot of entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs and people that thinking they're ready for this, they're not really ready because the first sign of somebody saying no,
Mhm.
they run.
Yep.
I remember we did a video a long time ago. It says there's a no in innovation, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so they're gonna tell you no, but you got to be innovative enough to come back with a reason to let them know that they need you.
I will manipulate your no so fast.
Yeah, it's
I will.
no, sis, it's called innovation. It's not manipulation.
Oh, okay. Innovate. Okay, right. Let me know because
Yeah, we don't want to use that
There's
bad
a
word.
proper term for that.
It's a bad word. I'm just going to, I'm a little innovative in my approach.
right. Yes, because I'll then y'all use that word. I will innovate your no. I don't necessarily. I just don't see no's. I know. I'm sure somebody's told me no. I probably didn't hear it, but they. I'm sure I got told no a few times, but I don't because in my head, I feel like I can satisfy anyone's customer service needs.
Yep.
Like if it's a convenience store and you don't need my snack machine, but you may need my diaper vending machine. You may need
Right.
you may need, my perfume vending machine. You may need my COVID vending machine. So I just, innovate my nose, like Will said. I innovate them. I just don't take no's, for an answer. I just know how to satisfy people. I know what the customer needs before they know.
Yep.
And I
I
tell
love that, and that's kind of like how we do with our business as well. When we have to go and put in bids on, so we had somebody give us like a big contract. There was like it was irresistible because they couldn't tell us no because our presentation was everything. Y'all came ready. Y'all
Mhm.
stuff looked like this. Like you presented it. Like
Yeah,
no way we could take this one piece of paper versus y'all whole pamphlet and whole situation. Like so we had to go with y'all. So I just love that.
right.
Presentation is everything. Customer service is key. Like,
Yeah. Glad you said that because that's exactly how I present. Excuse me.
hmm,
That's how I present with my vending machine proposals. It's in a portfolio.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like that, yeah. And nobody does that. So that
Nobody does it. That you got to be set apart. What makes you different? Like how you do. We can all do the same business, but what makes you different?
yeah,
Like how are you doing things? I'm sure there's plenty of people that go in there and be like, they can come in there and do the same thing you do, but just because your mouthpiece is working, don't mean nothing. Oh, girl just came over here and just presented us the same thing, but also she also offered us this and told us that it would go like this. She here daily on call 24/7, like all of that. So yeah, I
It's
love
it's
that.
it's so beautiful, sis. And like my wife was saying, they really these people told us that not only were you guys the highest,
Oh yeah.
but because of the presentation and everything that you put in the work, so they kind of before they even go into business with you, to see the work ethic, right? And that is part of the customer experience that you're delivering to these people, and you're letting them know this is why you should choose me.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's going to set you apart now, by bringing this awareness to the masses, you're
Mhm.
creating competition for yourself. But like we tell people in the cleaning industry, like we're not scared of you, because we know what we got and we know how hard we're willing to go.
Yep.
So there's no competition there. It's too many
Mhm.
opportunities for me to just be selfish and not share. And so this is important for people to understand, that your presentation is what's going to set you apart.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the motivation. Usually it is, just the motivation that sets you apart. That's why I never really see too much as a competition.
Yeah,
I feel like my motivation is just it doesn't match with anyone around me. So I just feel like, like how you guys always say, it's always a piece of the pie. It's room for everybody to win.
that's right. That's right. It really is. We'll answer this last question and we'll move on to our answers. Somebody said, I believe in mentors. How do you find a mentor in this industry? And are there groups or associations? I can answer that
Right.
partially. Here you go, right here. Jessica
Right.
Stewart got you. She's running classes, and you know,
Yeah, I do vending machine master classes. Usually, typically, people will just reach out to me on my page, and then my shit will have my information as well, and then I'll make it open too after this. So I do master vending machine master classes, but also there are a ton of vending machine groups on Facebook that I actually follow myself. Believe it or not, there are vending machine excuse me, expos, just like they do expos for like all kinds of things throughout the year. They
wow,
have vending machine expos throughout the year where a million vending machine experts come into one building. um, they just talk about a bunch of vending machine stuff. But even on Instagram and Facebook, there's the vending biz, the vending factory. There's vending machine groups on Facebook that will help you fix your vending machines, help you if you want to buy a vending machine, if you need a repairman. They're all on Facebook. Just look for vending machine groups.
there you go. And I just want to shout you out, Jesse. Like LaShawn Dorsey is on here, and she is one who has taken one of your classes, and she's getting ready to open up her own vending machine as well with
Uh,
her healthy stuff in it. I mean, just go ahead and throw that out there real quick.
I'm
But
that makes me feel so good because she was very good in my class. She was so interested, took a lot of notes, and she asked so many questions. And I always tell people like it's an open question in my class. You can ask until your mouth run dry. Ask. I'm open to give it to you. I love giving the game. If you ask me, I will give it to you.
yes, I love that. Ain't no need to hide it because we can all. It's money enough for all of us. I always say that. So I do want to ask you, Jesse, how do you scale your business?
So, I mean, if I scale, just elaborate a little bit so I can make sure I answer it correctly.
So basically, when you get into the place of profit, right? How would you, if you, so somebody wants, their goal is, I want 30 machines.
Hmm.
How would they scale up to that 30 from one machine? How would they, what are some of the methods? I mean, you've been answering this throughout the question. We just want you to kind of pinpoint it. So just scaling from one machine to 30 machine. What are some of the necessary steps that one should put in, or you have put in, that you have seen yourself go from one to however machines you have now?
So one is saving and learn. So I don't necessarily like recommend, because my goal is, over 20 machines. But I do like to baby step it. I baby step it because certain locations are a lot needier than others.
Right.
Certain location, and depending on how much you profit and how much you save, you still got your other income needs. You still have your own personal life. So you really, the goal is to make sure that your business can feed your personal life and your business life. So that's the thing. And it's like I would always say save money and baby step it. I currently baby step it. I'm getting up there, to where I have almost 8 vending machines right now. I'm moving up there. um but I baby step it. Yeah, I really baby step it because certain locations can really take a lot out of you. And if they're not 24 hours, like some locations don't open till 8 to 5. So that means you got to figure out Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, how you're gonna get there. And you got to get there. You know, you got to make sure they see your face at least once a week or every 2 weeks. Um, so automatically just getting too many machines, I think, in the beginning, before you in that game for at least 2 years, it may be a little bad for business because you really got to be in that game and have a repairman on like 911 call. You got
Mhm.
to have that, have everything you need, all your needs stocked, and have proper paperwork, in together and stuff like that, because it could get a little overwhelming, when you start getting a lot of machines.
Yeah, I could
So
imagine that.
So what we're hearing, to be able to scale, you want to do it one at a time. Make sure
Yeah,
you don't neglect the ones that you have already, because it could cause you to
yeah,
lose a contract. So you literally have to make sure that once a week or bi-weekly, you are there to for people to see your face,
yeah.
because you don't want them out of sight, out of mind, right? They'll be like, what vending machine is this again?
Yes,
I
and
don't
that's
know.
one problem. Yes, and I never want that. And my clients, they don't know, if I got a problem. They don't care. You know what I mean? They want a snack.
Yeah,
They want what I'm giving them. So I don't, I just feel like baby stepping, and then in the meantime, I'm always learning. I'm saving and I'm always learning, so that when that opportunity comes, I have that money in the business account to be able to go buy that vending machine and fulfill that opportunity. So it's just, scale back, and just baby step it.
I love that.
So one of the things, we're coming to an end here. We want to keep it within the hour. One of the things too is failure, right? And
Hmm.
this is my outlook on failure. I believe failures are necessary steps for success, right? That
Absolutely.
when you hear failure, in your words or your opinion, in this industry, what comes to mind, and what are some of the failures you have experienced, but you kept going, and now you're experiencing the success that you're experiencing? Failure. So let us know about failures.
Yeah, I mean, I have experienced failure in this business. It's been locations that I can't necessarily get, because I don't feel like I've educated myself enough to get them. And then my most recent failure was my vending machine. I felt like I had to like make it a funeral for my vending machine because it just wasn't. It ended up not working out the way I bought it, and I felt like I gave it my 10 checkpoint, and I felt like I did everything I usually do when I buy a vending machine, but I missed the step. And I wasn't hard on myself about it. I'm just like, keep going. I didn't let it, even kind of push me down even a little bit. I just was like, okay, when I went to my repairman, I took it in my box truck. I'm like, I can't get this to work. I need you to look at it. He's like, look, it's a doozy. It doesn't work. And I was like, oh Lord, I was getting ready to. It became a money issue because I was supposed to place that vending machine that next week.
Mm.
So yeah, I started being like, "Ooh, girl, you don't have time to cry, be sad. Look,
Okay.
you need to go find a new vending machine." So I had to just rest in peace my vending machine, take it to the scrap yard, and I was like, "Oh, I hate to see you go. I really thought we was gonna make some money." And then I just, and for what I spent on that vending machine, I had to just take it, and I ended up only getting $30 from the scrap yard for it, and that most definitely was not what I paid for it. So
Right.
a very hard lesson that I learned. I learned it and I took it and I ran with it. I put it right back in that business account and I was like, keep moving. Now you know what you need to look for. Now you know what you should not get. And now, you just keep moving. There are some, I experience failures, but I don't let them. I learn from them. I learn. And if it didn't fail, that was something I never would have knew. So I don't really like when things always just go good. I'm
Yeah.
like, shake up around here. Something gotta just not work because that's how I learn.
Yeah, because that's how we learn, through the challenges and the obstacles. And because, like you said, if everything's going good and you built this big old empire, but you don't have foundation, I believe that failures are foundations. And if you don't have those foundations laid, or which you have learned from, and
Yeah.
you built this big thing, when that sucker crumble, you're
Mhm.
not gonna know how to handle it. And I believe that's what invokes people to commit all these other things, right? Whether it's suicide or just depression and anxieties, because they cannot handle it. Where if you had went through failures and learned on this stage of it, how to process and how to deal. If you're getting hit, I remember this guy told me that he have a group that you have to have lost at least $1 million for you to be a part of that group. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, why? He said, so we need
You
to
know,
know
you
that you know
learned
how to
something.
handle
Yeah.
losses, and you're not gonna, kill yourself after. I was like, whoa, wait a minute,
Right.
$1 million. I
Yeah.
ain't made $1 million yet.
Somebody told me one time people pray for things that they're not ready for. And
Mm,
they say, if you don't do right with $1,000, why God gonna give you 1 million? You
that's
know,
real.
always keep that in mind, like, handle it right. So that when you get bigger, you know how to stay humble and you're able to handle it. So yeah.
Man, this been good, Jesse. We are up on our hour and we don't want to keep you longer, but I do just want to thank everybody that was able to tune in tonight. Your questions that you had, Jesse gave away a lot of information, y'all. If you want to catch Jesse, you can add her on Facebook, follow her, ask your
Right.
questions on the live. If you have any questions now, please add them. I have one more question for you before we do end, but if you guys have any other questions, make sure you add them in now so we can try to get them answered. Other than that, y'all gonna have to join her master class because she gave away a lot of information today
For free.
for free. And then she said in her master class, you can ask questions so your mouth is dry, like dry. Okay?
Here.
So
Mhm.
we're definitely gonna do a part two of it,
Yeah, have
Jesse.
to.
I'm down.
And right now, again, we just want to give you back your time. So, any last? You say you have one more.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we believe, reading and traveling are the two most important ways that you can expand your mind. What are some of the ways that you consume information in places that you have traveled to?
So I've recently been traveling a lot, and Texas is one of my places that I like to go to. Um,
Mhm.
so that is one place that I like to expand my mind because they have the biggest vending machine warehouses there. And I just always try to make sure I'm always learning and growing. And I do like to take a break from learning from things with my own business and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I'm always traveling and looking for other places to buy vending machine. I don't always just buy them in Phoenix in Arizona. I always look outside of Arizona. I'm always willing to take a road trip for a vending machine. So yeah, that's just one of the places I like to go, to try to make sure I'm learning and growing and getting information about my business.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. So, you guys are asking what's her Facebook name, Miss Jessica Stewart. Is Jessica Stewart right on
Yeah,
Facebook?
that's
Yeah,
just too.
Jessica Stewart.
So just take a minute, give them all your information, what you got coming up, when is your next master class, and all that fun stuff.
All right, so my Facebook name, I'm just under Jessica Stewart. It's a lot of Jessicas, but you should find it really, really quickly. I usually post, depending on how active people are with it. I'll post another masterclass information tomorrow on my page. And then actually, I tell a lot of people do not try to message me on Messenger. I do not check it actively, so I really don't go on there that much. You can also find me on Instagram under Creating Wealth All 2021. And then coming up, I'm hoping to soon have some more very intense vending machine classes. I want to start offering vending machine classes that have where I can actually help people get the location in that class and actually help them get a vending machine in that class. So those are my really, really big goals. And then I also want to start doing some mentorship because I know people have a hard time trying to find locations on their own. So those are just a few things that I'm looking forward to doing in the future.
I love
Nice.
that.
So I hope everybody heard it. Mentorship, you're working on that. You're working on
Master
intense master
class.
class, and you want to be able to, have a space for people to go to and ask these hard questions. So again, I'm excited because we do have some stuff in the works, and man, I'm excited. It's
Yeah.
like for real
Me
because
too.
excuses have to be put to the side. Right now, everybody that's willing to work hard, everybody that's willing to put in the work,
Yeah,
everybody that's willing to do that, there's no way you cannot succeed.
yeah,
Mhm.
It's too many opportunities. Cut out the excuse. If you cannot buy a $200 vending machine, something wrong with you.
right.
Can I invest in the $50? And I think, by the way, sis, you probably have to go up on that class. If you can't afford a 50
Period.
to $100 class where you can learn everything about vending machine, there's something wrong with you, because now you're just lazy, and that's what it should be called. So again, thank you so much, sis, for coming
Thank
on board.
you.
And we're definitely going to be looking forward to the part two of this. So
And
everybody stay tuned. Those of you that own Facebook, go like the work hour page. We're constantly doing once a month. We haven't missed a month yet. Every month we bring on an entrepreneur. We got a great lineup for the rest of the year. We'll
Hmm.
bring some people back twice because some of the information is so good and we don't have time to ask all the questions. So
Yeah.
those of you that stuck with us to the end, again, thank you.
thank
This
you
is Bill
guys.
and Mimi with the work hour and
Yes.
the mindset of an entrepreneur, starting, building, and maintaining. What does that look like? Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you, Jesse. We'll be right there to talk to you in just a minute, okay?
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Have a good Sunday.